We now move on to Hungary, and the writer is Viktor Horvàth, Turkish Mirror. Sorry, and I'd also like to invite on stage Ambassador Tomasz Ivan Kovács. Now, Viktor, it's been a pleasure to get to know you over the last couple of days, and I know you sometimes worry about your English, but I think it's improved incredibly. Do you think you have enough words to tell us how you're feeling?
I feel well. Yeah, maybe I could improve my English in the last 3 days being here, and now it's quite tolerable. So I would like to thank to the European organizations and to you being here. And
thank you very much, Viktor. Thank you. See you soon. Can you tell me where the inspiration for this book came from?
Actually, it's a folk story about in the age of the Turkish occupation from the 16th century, and this is quite a short one. This is quite a short one-page story, but very intensive as a Shakespeare drama, and actually this is the core of the novel. Yeah, the Arabian Nights was also important for the style and the Oriental style, the feeling and the milieu of the book, because the story is about the Turkish occupation, but the protagonist, the main hero of the book, is a young guy, a member of the Ottoman military aristocracy. I had to become Ottoman, and I had to use many sources. I read the Quran and I made notes. It was very important. It was very common and very ordinary in that age, because the life was actually holy, and every act of life, working, fighting, making love, eating, everybody was full of holiness, and the things were not so separated and isolated and specialized as we have them now. So I tried to cover all the segments of the life, of the normal life. We live in an interesting time. Interesting is euphemism, I think, for the present Hungarian situation. Yeah, of course, every writer is under the effects and the influence of the present age, and the ideal situation is when we don't have to care about it. But there are times when it is a serious problem, when the present political life is a serious problem, and we can't avoid it. But when I wrote that book, it was different. I wrote it in 2008, around in 2008, and it was the age of another government. It was corrupt as well, but it didn't want to destroy and distract democracy, and didn't want to control the mass media and national broadcasting channel, and didn't want to change the election system, and yeah. So I always feel guilty, because I always feel shame when I'm speaking about this, and I hate speaking about this, but I'm very interested. I can't avoid it.
What are you writing next? What will your next book be about?
It will be a 15th century novel. It will be also a historical novel about the age of the Renaissance in the Middle European region, the Italian influence to this region. We had a king in that age, a famous king, King Matthias, and the first Hungarian poet, who wrote actually in Latin, of course, as he was an antiquist and a philologist, and every educated man wrote in Latin in that time, under the influence of the old Roman and Greek poetry and literature. So he's called Janus Pannonius in Latin name, and actually he was the first Hungarian poet.